Welcome to a quick tutorial on how to compress a video using the Handbrake application. This tutorial assumes that you've already been able to download the Handbrake application and successfully installed it on your personal computer. The application is Windows and Mac compatible. For the purposes of this tutorial, it will be on a Mac, but the interface of the program should be very similar. So firstly, we can see that I've got my original video file here in the top right of my screen. If I go ahead and open that file and play it, we can see that the video does play and that we've got audio in the video. And if you need to check what file size it is, right click and get info. And now we have 904 megabytes, which is quite a large file considering the video is only about 1 minute long. So to compress the video file, we're going to open up Handbrake. So open the Handbrake application. Navigate to where you've saved the file. So for me, I saved it on the desktop, and I select the file and I click open. If you already have the screen open, Handbrake, and you want to open the source, you simply open source on the top left and you'll be back where you started. So if you accidentally selected the wrong video or something like that, then you could just click open source and select the correct video. Okay, so within this interface, we've got a lot of different options. We actually aren't going to touch many of them. We're going to work from the audio tab first. So come with me to the audio tab. Just check that it says unknown audio. So that's all we need. We don't need it to select none. We just click on unknown. Usually by default, it's already selected. So nothing, we're just checking. Check to make sure that all of these codecs, mixdowns, sample rates, all those settings are exactly as you see it in this video. In the video, this is where we need to change some settings. So for the video encoder, just double check that it says H264, X264. Change the frame rate to 25 frames per second, and change the quality from constant quality to an average bit rate of 10,000 kilobits per second, and no second pass encoding. These are all the settings we need to change in this particular area. Next, we go to filters. We don't need to deinterlace, so we can turn the deinterlacing off, so everything should be off. Next, we go to dimensions. By default, your video should be filmed at 1920 by 1080, and so you need to make sure that the display size is also going to be 1920 by 1080. If it's anything different, you'll need to do a custom crop to try to change the size. But if you've successfully recorded your video in 1920 by 1080, then you shouldn't need to change anything in this window. Finally, we go to summary. We check that it says MP4 file, that it's H264, 25 frames per second, and stereo. The last step is to check the file name that we want to save it to and the destination. So in the bottom right, when we click browse, I'm just going to save it back to my desktop and then hit choose. So now it's going to save with that name in the desktop. Finally, we click on start, and then we wait. So depending on how good or fast your current computer is, the video file doesn't get uploaded anywhere. It compresses it directly on the computer you're working on. So with a 30-minute video clip or quite a long recording, it could take some time to compress the video file. So you will need to be patient, or you may need to take a break while the computer processes everything, and then come back to it once it's finished. Okay, so now we can see that our finished file has finally compressed and is now on the desktop. We can right click and get info again to check the file size, and we can see that it is only 74 megabytes, much smaller and much more manageable to upload. It's a good idea to check that the video actually does play and you can hear the sound, so that when you upload the file, you know that the file you've compressed actually does work. So again, we're going to right click and open it in your player. And we can see that the video file does play. You may notice a slight difference in quality, but the H.264 encoding is actually very good. So we'll just close our file, close the Handbrake application. So now you can use the MP4 file to upload into the learning management system.